Welcome back. Richard Ferry, we were at the event. We talked to the activists before, during, and afterwards. What do you think, moving away from Cleveland and heading to the next debate in September, what are the takeaways for the activists? What are they going to look for in the next debate? And who has the momentum going into it? What are the takeaways?
To me, the takeaways are, I felt energized. That's what I felt. I feel people are paying attention to this. You know, people, they were critical of Fox, and they'll go, the coverage was bad, but I thought the coverage was good because they were pretty much, they asked the questions that everybody wants to know.
And they pushed I felt like they pushed everybody. They didn't pick favorites. I think they thought that they were.
Megan Kelly was trying to, you know.
No softballs.
They were throwing fastballs right at him. So what I left out of the room, I see the energy. I see everybody's energized. It's just we got to kind of keep it going to, okay, well, where do we go? How do we pass the baton to, it's your turn next, and how do we keep this thing going? Because I like to see, you know, a change. I don't personally care for Hillary Clinton. I think she's kind of full of herself. It's just, I don't know her, but she just kind of is a little much.
Katie, here's my thing, and I'll bounce this over to Brad as well. I felt like last night's debate was set up to be a soundbite debate, and starting in September, we will have substantive debate. We'll start talking more about foreign policy in a longer point of time. We'll start talking about the economy. One of the things I thought was interesting, nobody brought up the fact that the unemployment numbers were coming out today. The unemployment rate didn't move. They only added 215,000 jobs. The workforce participation rate is the same exact thing. We're still in this malaise, and everybody was so caught up in sound bites that nobody talked about those things. Who's going to take advantage of last night to get to the substantive debates in September? Who has that momentum?
Well, I'm not going to buy wholeheartedly your premise that the debate's going to get more substantive in September, number one.
I agree.
We've got too many people in the field. It's going to be soundbite, and frankly, even when you're down to 2 candidates, it's still a whole heck of a lot of soundbites.
Trump is not following any of the rules, so he's not following any of the rules. He's going to change this around. He's going to.
But at some point in time, we got to, I mean, it's going to have to shift, right, Brad? At some point in time, somebody's going to have to start bringing up numbers. I mean, Scott Walker tried to do it, and he got slammed on it. Other people tried to bring up things, and they either pivoted so fast and they ran out of time, or they got slammed with comebacks, whether it was people on stage or even with the moderators. Who's going to be able to break through and show a record that people can get behind, not just rhetoric that people can gravitate towards?
I disagree with the premise. I think there's a lot of substance in last night's debate. I thought the questions were good. They covered a variety of issues. I was surprised at how much substance those candidates were able to get into those short windows of time. You have a professional debater, a championship debater like Ted Cruz, for example. That guy can get a lot of information across quickly, but with a deliberate tone of voice, a very scholarly tone of voice. I was very impressed with him. So I thought it was a very substantive debate. It surprised me how good it was.
How many people do you think on that stage spoke backwards towards their accomplishments, and how many folks were able to speak forward and speak a vision? Who did that the best?
You mean where we're going?
Who did that the best?
Rubio.
Rubio. He did that explicitly.
Yeah, absolutely, Rubio.
I'll say Huckabee. That's what I think.
You think, this is one of the things that concern me about this debate as well. We have 17 individuals. The stars that came out of either the early polls or last night include Carly Fiorina, no elected office experience. Donald Trump, no elected office experience. Ben Carson, no elected office experience. Mike Huckabee has more TV experience over the last 10 years than he does executive experience. Jeb Bush has not been in office for roughly 10 years. I've almost gotten to half of the presidential field for the Republican Party. At some point in time, that has to make somebody nervous.
That's why you had so many viewers last night.
This debate,
record viewership last night.
Because of the inexperience or the rust, or why?
No, because people want something new. That's why Trump is getting all this attention. People are angry with the way things are in Washington. They're angry at both parties, and they want to see a fresh face, and they want to see someone talking plain talk and not equivocational political BS talk, and that's why so many people watched the debate last night.
The next debates are going to be exactly like this because the ratings are sky high. I didn't look at the numbers, but I guarantee you those ratings were higher than anything probably in the past 20 years.
It's the highest rated debate in history.
The producers
highest
of
rated
the next
cable
one.
non-sports
Stop
show
for just a second, because now we're talking about a television production. This goes back to my starting point. We're not talking about somebody running for the presidency, which goes back to my premise.
It is a TV production.
When
Like you're a
That's
political
why
junkie.
Trump is doing
So
so
let me
well.
ask
People are
It is a
excited
TV.
about it.
Let me
This
ask
is a
the-
reality show, Lenny. This is not.
Okay, but let me ask the question.
This
Let
is
me
not
ask-
a civic. It's
Let me ask
reality.
the question around the table, starting with Brad. When does it stop being a reality show and start being the presidency again? Or
It doesn't.
It's
or
both.
It doesn't. Or
It's
does
both.
it not?
It's
Obama
both.
changed that.
24 million people tuning in because they care about the direction of this country. They think we're heading in the wrong direction, and the Republican Party is an embarrassment of riches with all the candidates we can put on the stage. We had 10 on the first string. We had 7 excellent candidates on the second string.
Yeah.
I thought the first debate, the 5 o'clock debate, was every bit as entertaining as the second one.
But there are people that'll be out there, and we have football fans here and in the booth that would say, you know the old axiom, if you have 2 starting quarterbacks,
none.
you have no starting quarterback. So when does this stop being reality television, Katie? And to Richard's point, did Obama change the game so that the presidency will always be reality television, maybe to our detriment as a country?
I certainly hope not. I mean, I guess I keep seeing the success that Trump is having. And, you know, yesterday, Kim Kardashian is posting selfies with Hillary Clinton.
Exactly.
And I look at this and I think, well, this is what we have.
Is
And
that the state of our country?
Rome
yeah,
is
I'm
burning.
very concerned.
Nero
I'm very concerned.
is fitting.
And if that's the case, if Rome is burning in 15 seconds, who's going to be best to put out the fire? Richard,
Donald Trump.
Katie,
Marco Rubio.
Brad.
Ted Cruz.
Folks, we're going to want your opinion on that in the days ahead. In the meanwhile, these folks are going to give their opinion on one final point. One final point coming up next here on Night Talk. Get to the point.